Hello there and welcome to Forever Red Devils, and things are heating up with the Bryan Mbeumo move, with Manchester United set to lodge a bid sometime this week after apparently having already come to personal terms with the prolific forward, which was going to hopefully help Ruben Amorim solve the goal-scoring crisis that Manchester United had this season. Just one of four players to reach 20 goals in the Premier League season, doing it for a very impressive Brentford side, and doing it sort of off that right-hand side. And I think would really complement Matheus Cunha. United obviously have already wrapped up. Now, Brentford currently value Mbeumo at around that sort of £60 million mark. And given the fact that personal terms are already agreed, it means that now it's just about basically finding that transfer fee. Now, United are not going to come in at £60 million. We are going to try and save where possible, and expecting probably an initial bid close to sort of the 40-50 million pound. And the big thing United will be negotiating right now is structured payments and not paying the entire amount up front. The big thing at the moment United is, first of all, they are moving quickly. We are getting signings done. You know, Matheus Cunha signed within a week of the Premier League coming to an end. Now looking to try and get Mbeumo within the first week of the official transfer window. It's a whole different sort of approach that we've seen from United. I think the main point is that come pre-season, we've got our squad. Because what we're seeing with Ruben Amorim and his system is that we need time to implement the system. Whether it's going to be the right system, I'm still very skeptical about. But what we can all agree on is the fact that time is vital. And the only way we're going to find any sort of success next season is if we can make sure we've got a full preseason. So by the time we start the season, which will only be playing in the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, no midweek football really, is an opportunity for us to get back into the mix. And we're never going to compete for the title next season, for example, but we've got to be looking at getting back into that top half, getting to maybe even top 6 or 7 in the Premier League. That's got to be the goal. And it's not an altogether unrealistic goal if we can get the right sort of transfer window done. The big thing is obviously money. United having apparently £120 million to spend so fast. In theory, we've almost spent already half that on Matheus Cunha. But we need to offload players, because if we get this Mbeumo deal done, and it does cost us close to £60 million, in theory, that is the transfer budget gone. Finished on 2 players. And we need more than 2 players. We've got to look at probably bringing another defender. We've got to reinforce the midfield as well. Potentially even if I need another forward, to be honest. £5 million coming from Chelsea for the penalty of sending Jadon Sancho back. United need to offload him. We're going to make a huge loss on him, regardless of where he goes. Got to offload him. We've got to offload Marcus Rashford. We've got to offload Alejandro Garnacho. We now know that Bruno Fernandes is not departing, which means that we are not going to be getting anything from Bruno Fernandes, and that was set to potentially be a pretty big lump of money, which is now not going to go into our transfer kitty. Now, it's great in terms of having to be able to keep a player of Bruno's caliber, who would cost us a substantial amount of money to be able to replace. But again, it was also, one of our very few sort of sellable players in terms of being able to add to that sort of war chest that Ruben Amorim needs. So in terms of what we expect to see from Mbeumo, again, apparently, personal details are also basically wrapped up. Personal terms agreed. At the moment, it's on £50,000 a week at Brentford. That is expected to probably quadruple. Rumours now talking about him being on £250,000 a week. I'd love to see him closer to that 150, 175, which is just already tripling what he has. And this is going to be a very important part of the United transfer window. Can Ineos save on wages? Can we start offloading big wages and replacing them with players on a much less way and free up that wage bill? We don't have European football. We've got a lot of money that's not going to come into the club next season. We've got that whole clause with Adidas as well. So we've got a massively reduced budget, and we're going to see more redundancies come in the club. We're going to see more cost-saving matters. So we need to make sure that we're not handing out these big contracts, but at the same time, we have to offer a decent amount of money to be able to even get these sort of players to consider being part of the club. So at the moment, no official bid coming just yet, but the clubs is apparently in sort of club-to-club talks. The big problem is that £50 million is sort of the mark that they're looking at, given the fact that he's only got 1 year left on his current deal. So Brentford at this stage saying that they don't need to necessarily sell him. However, given the fact that we've just paid £62.5 million for Cunha, Brentford are kind of using that and basically saying, well, there's the yardstick. If you're going to pay that kind of money for Cunha, then Mbeumo is very much of a similar sort of caliber. And that's where I think we're going to sort of fall down. We're going to probably have to play north of £50 million. If we can get him £45 million, I'll be really shocked. I think it'll be a fantastic signing. It'll be a really good value signing as well. Reality is, chances are we'll have to go closer to that sort of £50 million mark. And probably even north of it, which wouldn't be bad, except for the fact that it's just so much of the war chest already being used. Would you do it though? Would you pay that kind of money? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.